What's up? Marcus from Beats by Marcus here, and this is part 2 of how to launch the bleep out of your mixtape or album. So if you haven't heard part 1 yet, I suggest you go back and check it out because I go over the 3 fundamental steps on how to do this, how to launch and explode your career as a rap artist. I also talked about some of my own failures and mistakes I had in projects I started in hip-hop ventures, so I totally know what it's like to get discouraged and want to give up. But in looking back, I'm happy I didn't because it seemed like there was always a reason that I went through what felt like problems. And even though I couldn't see it while I was going through it, there was always something valuable that I learned, and it built my character and it made me a better businessman. Anyone who is successful has had adversities, and the one thing that all successful people have in common is tenacity. They learned from their mistakes, kept going, and didn't give up. Alright, so back to the 3 fundamental steps. Step 1 is to have the right mind frame and self-belief so that you can easily see yourself with the success that you want. Step 2 is to learn the tricks and shortcuts that successful rappers use to put together an undeniable album or mixtape. Now, step 3 is to learn the right way to promote yourself on the internet. There are specific things that all successful internet marketers do and don't do, and you need to learn what they are and just do the same things. And notice the sequence of the steps, because if they're not done in order, you're pretty much putting together a building with no solid foundation. You know, you may be able to work hard and put that building up, but if the foundation or base is weak, then, it's just going to fall down and fall apart at any kind of pressure that's put on it. So if you think about it, you did all that hard work for nothing. Alright, so what I want to do right now is give you some examples and information on each of the 3 steps so that you can go ahead and start to apply them to the project you're working on now. Alright, so the first step, which is getting your mind right, I want to talk real quick about psychology. Now, I know a lot about psychology, and the reason is because I come from a family of worriers, and when I was young, I worried a lot too. So what I started to do was read every book I can get my hands on how to focus my mind on the things that I want instead of the things that worry me. And one of the biggest things I learned from studying this subject is that your mind is very powerful and it is in control. And it doesn't matter what you do, because in all cases, you will always receive what you believe and expect for yourself. Now, what I just said is so important, I gotta say it again. You will always receive what you believe and expect for yourself. So a lot of us are taught that through hard work and grinding hard, you get what you want. But this is only true if you believe and expect the thing that you're trying to achieve. This is why we see so many people working hard and struggling, but still not getting what they want. If you want something but you don't have the right mind frame, you will subconsciously sabotage any chance of success. And circumstances that seem to get you closer to your goal will eventually fall apart. I know you can feel what I'm talking about because we've all been through this. We've all tried really hard to get something, but no matter what we do or how hard we try, something just always seems to get in the way. And that always means just one thing. It means your thoughts and beliefs aren't aligned with what you want. So what I want to do right now is just give you something that you can do every day to help get your mind right for success as a rap artist. And so this next part you're going to hear is taken straight from this guide that I made. It's called The Rapper's Guide to Making a Mixtape or Album, The Secret Shit That Nobody Told You. And the guide comes as an ebook and also has an audio version. So this next part is from the audio version. It's from chapter 1, and it's all about how to get your mind right. So here it is. And so now what I'm going to do is give you my secrets, give you a list of things that are really important to do before you start to make your mixtape or album, the things you do before you start any action. Alright, so the first one is called Start with the End in Mind. What it does is it allows you to focus on your goal, and it allows you to have a clear picture of your goal. So when you're doing the things, the tasks, the day-to-day work that needs to be done, it's going to really help you to have that vision in your mind of the finished product to allow you to know what to do and to be inspired to do it. So here's how you apply it to your mixtape or album. What you do is you create a powerful vision in your mind of it already being done. And you can imagine the CD in your hand and you're looking at the artwork and it looks perfect. It looks just how you imagined it. And you can think of it selling really well. It's selling online, and maybe after, your shows, people are lining up to buy it. And you just have this thing that you're really proud of that you can sell it everywhere you go. So, having that vision and feeling good about that is going to inspire you. It's going to make the work that you need to do to get there much easier. And, the funny thing is also what happens when you're relaxed and you have this clear vision of what you want in your mind. The universe starts to make it happen for you, and things will happen like, the right person will call you at the right time, or you'll meet somebody online who does artwork, and they're going to give you a good price. And that's just the way things work for you when you're clear on where you want to go. So really important. Any successful person will tell you how important that is. Alright, so what you just heard was one idea from the first chapter of my mixtape guide, and it's all about how a rap artist can get his mind right for mixtape success. There's much more, but I gotta keep this video short, so let's move on. Now what I want to do is give you an example of how you can apply step 2 of how to launch the bleep out of your mixtape or album. So remember, step 2 is to learn the tricks and tips that successful rap artists used on their mixtape. So this next part you're about to hear is also from my mixtape guide. Here goes. In chapter 8, I want to let you in on a secret on how to get, the best work, how to get your best work for your album or mixtape. I have to start off by talking about what rappers do who are on major labels. How do they get together their project? So a rapper on a major label, they're going to work on some songs, they're going to find beats, and what's going to happen is they're going to go through a lot of songs, and many times people from the label, maybe, an executive producer or an A&R person or someone from the record label rep, they're going to act as quality control, and they're going to listen to the songs, and hopefully, in conjunction with the rapper, they're going to pick the best songs that are going to make it on the album. So, when you hear something that has been professionally released, what you're not hearing is all the songs that didn't make it on the album. And in most cases, there's lots of songs that don't make it. So, what you have to tell yourself when you're working on a project is that your best work doesn't always come. Like if you're doing 10 songs or 12 songs or 16 songs for your mixtape or album, the first 16 songs aren't going to be your best work. And, that's okay. So if you tell yourself that I got to go through a lot of songs to get, the best ones, if you kind of tell yourself that, then you're doing okay. So the secret is to record and make way more songs than you're going to need for the album. So if you're going to have like 12 songs for a mixtape or album, make 20 songs and just make up your mind that you're going to make a lot of songs. And then when you're ready to choose songs for your album, you're going to have some good songs to pick from. And I guess a good way to look at it is imagine if you did that, and then imagine if you didn't do that. So if imagine that you're having 12 songs for your album, and you just create 12 songs, and those are the songs that are going to make it for your album or mixtape. And in another scenario, you have 12 songs, but you created 20 songs, so you pick the best 12 out of the 20. Well, you're obviously going to have a better album, and you're getting your best work and your better work for your album or mixtape. And when you're doing that, you're putting yourself in a closer ballpark to the professionals out there. And when you do that, you're more likely to get attention, you're more likely to sell more albums, and you put yourself in that professional mode. Alright, so that was from chapter 8 of my Rapper's Guide to Making a Mixtape or Album. Also, just to let you know that this guide comes with a professional ebook along with the audio. They both have 10 chapters of everything you need to know to create a successful mixtape or album. Alright, so before we end this, I gotta give you this big, huge tip for the third and last step in how to launch the bleep out of your mixtape or album. The third step, if you remember, is to do the same things that internet millionaires do when promoting your mixtape or album. And when I say millionaires, I'm serious. I'm not just, trying to hype anything up here. I've studied and learned from highly successful internet marketers who know the right way to promote and make a big living on the internet. So this subject is huge, but I want to leave you with a really good tip that will get you on your way. Now, this tip starts with how to use a mailing list for your internet promotion. If you're on my Beats by Marcus mailing list, you might have heard me touch on this before, but I'm going to give you an actual example of how to build your mailing list with Twitter. I can't emphasize enough that having a mailing list is the #1 important thing you need to do when selling your music on the internet. Alright, I'm going to tell you about 2 different websites that you can use for your mailing list service. The first is aweber.com. That's A-W-E, B as in boy, E-R.com. This is the best mailing list service out there. With Aweber, once people join your mailing list, you can set up auto emails that they will receive. And there's a lot more to know how to use this correctly, but don't have time to get into it here. But anyway, it's very powerful, but it's not free. If you're looking for a free basic mailing list, you can set up a free account with reverbnation.com and use the mailing list that they provide. That's reverbnation.com. Now, to build up your mailing list, you have to give away something free so that people will want to join. The best thing for a rap artist to give away free is a really good mixtape, your mixtape. So now this is also a good way to introduce people to your music and skills and create potential fans that will buy your future albums. And one trick in doing that is to send out an email to your list telling them that you have this album coming out and you're going to hook them up with a great deal on it. Now, there are a lot of ways to find people to join your list, but I'm going to tell you a really good system that I use on Twitter that you can use too. So one way on Twitter to find rap fans is to find a successful rap artist that does music similar to yours and follow their followers. You want to follow around 30 to 50 people a day. And the secret to doing that is that about 40% of the people you follow will follow you back. Now, another big Twitter trick is that there is a website that you can set up to send out an auto direct message in Twitter for free. The site is called socialoomph.com. That's social and then oomph, O-O-M as in Mary, P as in Paul, H.com. So what you do is you set up socialoomph.com to send out a direct message for everyone who follows you back, telling them that they will get your free mixtape if they join your mailing list. Now, you want to think of the people that follow you on Twitter as potential long-term fans, so you don't want to keep bugging them to listen to your music. You should only have about 1 out of every 10 tweets that promotes your music. The rest should be tweets that you think your fans will like. And here's where you can be creative and think what rap fans would like to check out. Alright, so we just went over 3 examples of how you can apply the steps to launch the bleep out of your rap career. I wanted to give you so much more, but this is already longer than I wanted it. But before you go, I want to tell you about one of the coolest things that Beats by Marcus has ever provided to you guys on the mailing list. I'm giving away $160 worth of beats for only $19.95. So that's 6 beats, 2 $10 beats, 2 $25 beats, and 2 $45 beats for less than the price of one. And the big bonus is that you will get the mixtape guide, ebook, and audio version thrown in for free. So this is a one-time deal, and you're going to get the sales video about it in a few days. And please remember that once you go to the link, you will have 24 hours to take advantage of this deal. So that's it. I mean, you won't have another chance. So I'm opening up this door for a crazy deal for beats and this mixtape guide being thrown in for free. Now, if you don't want to wait a few days, I left a link under this presentation so that you can get your 6 beats and mixtape guide right away. But again, remember that once you click on the link, the 24-hour time limit will begin. And don't worry if you don't know which beats you want yet, you will have 3 days to choose, which I think is plenty of time. Okay, I'm not going to do a hard sell here. I'm just letting you know about this for those who are interested. Now, you'll also be able to find links to all the websites I mentioned in this presentation so that you can easily check them out if you want. So now, please do me a big favor and leave a comment below if you found this useful or if you have any questions, and I'll respond to every comment. And if you're not getting this beat special right now, remember to look out for the next email in a few days. Okay, that's all I got. For now, thanks, and I'll be talking to you soon.